Quick scenario, you're bored. What's the first thing you do? You pick up your phone, you try to text somebody, or you try to play music, or you try to do something on your phone, try to scroll social media. But you're bored in a place where you can't access your phone. You immediately look around and you start thinking of talking to people, it seems like we are in a constant fight against boredom. We don't want to be bored. While in essence, being bored is actually when your brain works the most, when you're more productive, when your brain processes things. Being bored helps you become more creative. But we are always fighting it. In fact, there is this common societal urge to run away from boredom. Somebody calls you on the phone and say, "Are you free? Can we talk?" And you're like, "Okay, is everything good?" And then the person says immediately, "I am bored, so I decided to call you." Like we are always like, we always feel like boredom is a bad thing and we shouldn't be bored. Like the moment you're bored, you call your friend up and you're like, "Let's hang out. I'm bored. Let's do something. I'm bored. Let's I'm bored." Like there's always something you're trying to do once you're bored. While in essence, you're supposed to actually allow yourself to be bored. In fact, even when you can't be bored, create, that opportunity for yourself to be bored so that your brain can, you know, do so many things like be more creative, be more productive. That is a time for your brain to actually refresh, work on certain things that you wouldn't even pay attention to if you were, in a constant busy schedule. That is when your brain, processes all these things. But because we don't allow ourselves to be bored, we don't give our brain the chance to process all those things. So your boredom might be the key to your success that you have been, fighting your whole life. And this is a video reminding you to allow yourself to be bored. Allow yourself to, be quiet. Allow yourself to be calm. Allow yourself to be take a walk and you don't have to play music and, distract yourself. When you do that, all you're doing is you're filling up the quiet time that your brain has to process things with more distractions. You're frying your brain some more. You're not allowing your brain that freedom to actually breathe, because our brains need to breathe. And that is when our brains breathe, during the time you're bored, not just when you're sleeping. In fact, some of us take our sleep is not even boring, because during our sleep we are dreaming about so many things, like, constant you're constantly dreaming about, like you can't even sleep without dreaming about so much. So it's just how much we occupy our brain with activities. You need to allow your brain, that space. When you're bored, don't run away from it. Don't try to look for a friend to hang out. Don't try to escape it with use of social media and, other means, watching a movie and all that. When you're bored, allow yourself to be bored. Being bored is a good thing. It helps you unlock your creativity. It can literally be the key to your success that you have been suppressing. Allow yourself to be bored. Allow yourself to feel that emptiness. Allow yourself to feel that quietness. Sometimes even when you notice you have not been bored for a while, create space to be bored. Yes, it's a bit funny, but it's actually a really, really good thing. Just lie down on the floor, look at the ceiling. With all, with that emptiness, allow yourself to just look at the ceiling with no expectation, whatever. Just looking at the ceiling and, wondering, why is it so white? Allow your brain that space to wonder. It is in the wondering that you unlock certain things that will otherwise remain locked, forever, if you don't allow yourself unlock it. So always allow your brain to wander, think, just, just be quiet. That is the time your brain uses to, you know, be more creative. That's the time your brain uses to breathe. That's the time you discover things that you otherwise wouldn't discover if you're in a constant pursuit of one thing or the other. So allow yourself to be bored. Boredom is good. It helps you stay, it helps you stay connected with your inner self. It helps you stay connected with who you are. It helps you even know yourself better. Because a lot of times when we run away from boredom, all we are just trying to do is we are avoiding getting to know ourselves more. It almost feels like we are scared to, spend time with ourselves. There was a time I used to think about the whole idea of people going for like a movie alone. And I used to talk about it with some of my friends, and they would be like, why would you go for a movie alone? Or why would you go to the restaurant and eat alone? Like, why would you go out alone? Like, it does not make any sense. It's super boring. You're supposed to go out with people. But I did it a couple times and I realized, you know, it exposes me to certain things that I wouldn't have noticed. Like, that's just me and myself. If I go out to eat, it's just me and myself. And I'm just like focused on the food. Even though these days it's hard to even do that because when you go out, you start pressing your phone and all that. But if you actually go out and spend time with just yourself, no usage of mobile phones, and just you and whatever you're doing. For example, you're eating, it's just you and eating. There is so much you can learn about yourself in that short duration of time. The same thing we see in the movie alone. You laugh and you don't have to, there's nobody to tap and, start telling stories about the movie that you're watching. So you turn to yourself and you tell yourself those stories. You know, all these times that you have been running away from being bored is just you running away from getting to know yourself better. And the more you start accepting your boredom, the more you get to know yourself. So accept your boredom. Learn to be bored. Be more comfortable with boredom. Don't run away from it. The more you spend time being bored, the more you get to know yourself. And the more you get to know yourself, the more you can be a better person, the more you live life. Because at the end of the day, the whole point of living life is getting to know ourselves, knowing our purpose and knowing how we can use that to impact